Well, 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 would you look at that? I did not think that we would be meeting here again for another project by Petras this early on. What a bomb. I think I was at work literally when I saw a post on social media. I don't even remember where. I know that it wasn't Kim, but it was just like, guys, Problématique just came out. And I'm like, wait, what? Huh? And then lo and behold, which by the way, the expression is lo and behold and not lone and behold. Anyway, I keep saying lo. Whatever, that doesn't matter. Because today we are reacting to Problématique. And yes, I did say in my last video that I had listened to it, but honestly, I don't even remember the songs all by heart. I think there are new ones that I haven't listened to as well. I don't know, I'm just gonna go through it. We're gonna have fun together. We're gonna react together. Let's go for a ride. I can't not do what I usually do. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Hey, do you listen to Kim Petras?
Isn't she like problematic?
No, she's problematique.
Queen of my castle and I never coming down.
The bass is so groovy and catchy. It's so nice.
I'm a little bit dramatic, little real, a little plastic.
She's so problematique, problematique.
Ooh. I love that Europop sound. It's so much fun.
Every night, live it right, get up and get down. Yeah, she's so problematique.
We just heard, obviously, the title track of the album, the whole essence, the whole French Europop type of sound. I'm very curious as to what prompted the release of this album, because I thought it was a long-lost album. It's kind of wild that out of the blue, just like that, dropped. Logically, it's probably something more for the fans and the ones that have been following her, and now she gained, obviously, a bigger fan base because of the previous album and the efforts that went into it. I really thought it was a long lost album that would never see the light of day, and then here we are today listening to it. It just literally on my desk. Also, I'm kind of surprised that, but also not at the same time, that when I look at the track listing, we don't see Future Starts Now. It would have been an epic move for it to be considered the first single that came off of that album, and that she went into this arc where she released another album in the meantime, and then she's coming back to Problématique. That would have been an incredible move, and I know that she had a lot of success with Future Starts Now. I just remember seeing it like all the time at the gym when I used to go work out, because I don't anymore. But I would go and like it would play all the time. I would see the music video all the time where it's in the Eiffel Tower with the choreography and whatnot. It was pretty cool. So it would have been epic as a story arc, that like redemption, right, of like coming back and like it's kind of back into that cycle again. But at the same time, like it's a new era. It's probably just a gift that she wanted to give out and just like let it go because of just kind of like thanking the fan base, maybe some type of way. But here we are. I'm gonna say that like 1,000 times. It's crazy because when I listen to the sound of these songs, it would have fit so well in today's market. Like it actually fits right now in today's market. It stands out. It has its own brand, its own identity, and like she really could make a big impact if this goes right. I certainly hope that like her label is going to put some marketing efforts into it and like kind of push it, because if the album is as good as I remember it, it was consistent. It was quality pop music. I know that with I have Born, Bite, All the Beast, Feed the Beast. There you go. I remember that with Feed the Beast, one of the issues is that we really had different environments when it came to sounds, and so it kind of felt like a bit of a whiplash. But from listening to Problématique many years ago, it was very consistent. So I wonder if it's gonna stay that way, because I don't know all of the songs that are on the album. I hope by some sort of like miracle, this album works amazingly well, and then it just like picks up.
I want you to fly me on the jet, yeah.
That line.
Got the bread, show me the baguette, yeah. Got the bread.
This French influence on that album, especially Problématique and Je t'adore, which are obviously two French phrases. Problématique is more of a word, but Je t'adore means I adore you. It was so cool. And like she took it like really far, like in the visuals of the album, in the music video for Future Starts Now. I found it really, really cool that she was bringing that influence to the American market in some way.
I wanna love you more. Spend the night with me in Central Pay, yeah. I could fit you like a Gucci, yeah.
I'm really gonna dive into this album like on so many different levels and different aspects, but from a purely mixing and production perspective, the first two tracks, what I find fascinating is how incredibly smart the use of space and silence is used. Obviously the use is being used, but you guys understand what I mean. Essentially, it doesn't sound overbearing. It doesn't sound too fulfilled. I know that some tracks on Feed the Beast felt like a little overwhelming, but there is like, it puts emphasis on the rhythm and it gives like space to breathe and it makes it catchy because you're able to focus on the different elements at a time. Once again, I don't know if the whole album is going to be like that, but I remember from those two tracks, one of the reasons I guess I particularly liked them was because of how easy it was to absorb and like process and listen to and pay attention to and how catchy they are. There is catchiness in simplicity.
Ooh, je t'adore, I wanna love you more than anybody before. Ooh, je t'adore.
So I'm having a thought right now. Long story short, she came to Montreal, where I live, for a festival that I ended up not going to, and I was supposed to get tickets, but I didn't. And I was really disappointed because I was really curious as to how she was on stage. But guess what? Then she added last week a date in Montreal for her Feed the Beast tour. Like, it's technically a second date because she considered her first one as a festival appearance the first opening date of the tour. She's coming back on October 15th, and I will be getting tickets. It's not if and maybe. I will be getting tickets. I want to see her live. It's going to be in a smaller-ish venue, which makes a lot of sense because she already performed here in Montreal. I want to see that. That's going to be a show. Oh, wait, I just realized. The reason why I was saying this is because at the same time, I think it might be a nice promotional tool to bring attention back to the tour. As in, she just released a pop album and now people are going to pay attention. And then it's a great opportunity to remind that she's on tour and to sell the tickets. It might have been a very smart like marketing move for the tour. Maybe a little bit confusing considering the titles, but otherwise, I just realized that it might be one of the marketing tools. No, wait.
Ooh, je t'adore, I wanna be your own. Just show me how to please, yeah.
It's wild because this is just like two synths, one bass synth and one like melodic synth just playing at the same time. That's all, but it's so catchy. Oh, I remember that one too. Yeah. And with Paris Hilton too, iconic.
All she wanted is sushi in hotels.
All she wanted is sushi in hotels. Sounds like me.
Skin tight, dresses, late night, guest list. She's a work of art.
I mean, if you look at the cover art of this album, it's basically mesmerizing at this point. It's really nice. Which I'm wondering if that was the original cover that was planned, or this is like a new, like, because I saw that she published like content on social media of the shoots and whatnot. So I don't know if that's like from back then or if this is recent. You know what it reminds me of when I listen to the melody? It reminds me of like shopping in Beverly Hills. Like any show that referenced Beverly Hills in the 2000s. That's all I can think about. Like I remember there was Totally Spies, the cartoon show that I was listening to as a kid. And like the shopping scenes, I feel like this is the type of track that would fit in those like shopping scenes. It sounds like expensive. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
She cried her oceans.
Oh, okay.
Still she keep posting.
That, I don't know if that was Paris's only part, but that was quick because I don't remember it.
She don't want your love, all she ever want is more.
Oh, I didn't remember that. Also, I'll take a moment to say that I like her signature. Like the woo ah, like brilliant. It's really cool. I don't know why. There's something about it.
Icons only, bitch. Get out if you're not an icon. Let's hop.
All right, I'm out. Goodbye, guys. Oh yeah.
I feel like you're the type to come into my life, like someone who could tear me into two.
This is wild how different it is from everything that's come out this year so far.
I just wanna hear you say my name. You make me feel like the devil's gone away. You're looking at my dress, just take it off. All I want is more. I wanna say what I feel for you. I just wanna stay right next to you. You make me feel like I'm born again. You make me feel like I'm born again.
I don't know how to explain it. There's something about this album that feels effortless. It just comes out naturally, or it sounds more, natural. I don't know. This album did something to me, man. I don't understand it. I truly don't. I'm just happy it came out and it's officially on streaming platforms. She deserves all the success. All the success.
Something about you, something about you.
This actually sounds very Charlie XCX now that I'm listening, and not just because of the auto-tune effect, but also just the flow of the lyrics.
Every time, all I wanna do.
Actually, let me.
Galaxy, stars in your eyes. Something about you. Mercury rising. I don't give a fuck what your sign is.
You know me. I'm an astrology guy. I do give a.
Rock it when you give me head.
Ooh.
Feels like I'm never high enough.
Mercury rising, huh? As I'm listening to this album, I'm having, two thoughts. First of all, I was trying to think of a pop project, like a mainstream project that was as consistent and I could like compare it to. Like the only answer that I can come up with is it reminds me of Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia. How sonically cohesive it was, how, both albums write about love, how they're great quality pop albums. This is kind of like that breakout moment the same way that Future Nostalgia was for Dua Lipa. And also it's kind of funny because I'm looking it up really quickly to see what the credits are. It's all the same people that worked on all of the tracks. But what's funny is that one of the critiques, I guess, or the reception, is that somebody from the tab wrote Problématique getting shelved is a horrific loss for Pop Universe, and I will never forgive Kim's label for doing this era injustice that it has. Facts. And then proceeds to say, I hope one day the record resurfaces on streaming, which it did. Future Starts Now should be taught in lead single class at music school until the end of time, which I agreed, and this is why I'm surprised that that song is not on the album, because it would have done it to justice 100%, but it's not, so that's fine. I'll move on. Now this one I hadn't heard. I don't think I have.
He treat me like a hoe, take me to rodeo. He buy me Valentino. He know I need a lot of Gucci, Fendi, Prada. I need a Birkin, get you working. Ooh.
I was about to critique how often she refers to like brand names, but then again, it is Paris and France inspired pop music. Literally, it is a capital of fashion. Like, it wouldn't make any more sense that she refers to all these brands that are established in high couture and that probably have their head office in France. So I take that back.
Make them other bitches mad. He put me in the Lambo. He put you in a cab. Put me on the payroll. He makes you pay the tab. He treat me like a hoe. Take
Wow.
bling, bling, a bling, bling. I need a ring, ring, the big thing. A supersizer. I need a riser. He made you pay
Interesting. I have three things that I want to say about this. One, I think it was a reasonable length. Like, I didn't need more than that. But it was kind of a funny moment, and I think, which leads me into my second point, this was a perfect mid-album break. This is a change up in the sound just to make sure that we're still paying attention. It's like, if you're not, wake up. Hello, we're listening to an album. Pay attention. And third, it's kind of movie-esque. Like, it's kind of like a 2000s rom-com type of like soundtrack. So for that, I actually did enjoy it. That was interesting. I don't know how often I'll get back to it, but in the context of listening to the album, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I remember that one.
Baby, I got a confession. Gotta make you my possession. But lately you've been all in my dreams. Yeah, and I got to have you. I got to have you. Baby, I got a confession. Gotta make you my possession.
It's kind of funny because now that I'm looking at the track listing, like kind of like going through the songs, it's as if like storyline or storytelling wise, she was fantasizing about somebody and then like had this probably relationship at first, and then Treat Me Like a Hoe was actually the moment where she decided to veer off and like break it up and kind of chase the money for a second. And now she's kind of getting back, and by the end of the day, like, cause sort of like doubling back, sort of like regretting her decision a little bit, because she's having like late night thoughts and it's leading to confessions of like, oof, like I miss you. That break of a minute 56 was really just like the perfect moment to break it up and like change the tone of the album. There is a storyline that's kind of created from that, which is very smart.
And if you wanna just say the word, yeah. My love will make you shoot like a gun. 'Cause I got to have you.
We've had a lot of like guitar work throughout the album, and I think that's one of the most important things that kind of stood out in terms of production. Like, the guitar work is really, really well done. They're probably looped because modern production leads it to being looped, but the reason I think most of these songs are so catchy is because of the guitar work. So honestly, excellent work on that.
You wanna go deeper
Oh yeah,
than anybody's ever been before you, babe. Mascara on, my hair's messed up.
oh yes, this one actually really
So high, G5 till Saint Tropez.
so hold on a minute. I didn't even have the chance to finish my thought and I jumped to a second one. This one really hits hard. That's what I was looking for. Also, see all the references to like French music and like French things. The consistency in the themes of this album, it was wild. To a certain extent, I think the line between repetition and consistency can be very, very thin at times, but in this case, it didn't cross over to redundancy. It really just made things coherent. Like, it tied the strings together and it created an environment, like a sonic environment. There was really something amazing about that album, and I was devastated when I learned that it didn't come out or wasn't going to come out. But again, here we are.
I know you've been hurt before than anybody's ever been before.
Ooh, that bass groove.
Forget the yacht, the pool, the Bentley, so fashionable. You're less than all season, yeah. I know you've been hurt before. Do you wanna go deeper? Yeah. Deeper, 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 babe.
Interesting. I feel like this song was meant to be shorter, but they extended it. I don't know if it was to hit that 30-minute mark, because in a classic way of doing LPs, the LPs must have a minimum of 8 tracks and or 30 minutes or something like that. Anyway, to be qualified as, like, you know, if ever there are achievements and to be considered an album, so like get the nominations for like best album of the year. I think that was the standard in the industry. Might change over time, to be seen. That might have been the song that was extended to make sure that the album reached 30 minutes, maybe. I'm completely hypothesizing here. I have no idea what happened in the studio. I have no idea if it is like remotely accurate. I'm just speculating at this point. But I feel like that song could have been ended at a point before and it would have been okay. we wouldn't have missed out on much. I think this one I haven't heard.
If you wanna come through any way you like, I'll do.
Wow, no, I had not heard that one. I would have remembered that.
Better on the floor, you do.
That was a precursor to slut pop. Definitely.
I've been touching myself, you've been on my mind. Close your eyes, take your time, you got me tonight. If you wanna come through.
Oh, but the chorus.
I just wanna do dirty things to you.
Actually, this kind of reminds me of Carly Rae Jepsen a little bit. Like a naughtier version of Carly Rae Jepsen.
I just wanna do dirty things.
Yeah, especially the falsetto notes. Especially that.
Let's just get fucked up all the time. Let's keep it rocking, yeah.
Yeah.
I know you like 'em sexy with an attitude. Get me out of my attire. If you wanna come through.
It's interesting because I don't think I've heard a lot of like mid-tempo songs that are that good and that boppy. Maybe Sabrina Carpenter when she released her album, Emails I Can't Send. But I feel like a lot of songs that are like, especially nowadays, are typically a bit faster, like more in the 120, 130 BPM. Accordion? Oh, wow.
Make it so hard to love you. You make it.
There's a little bit of a mind that's happening in my brain right now. Because I grew up speaking French, because I'm born and raised in the province of Quebec, Canada. And if you didn't know, because you're, a viewer from somewhere else, it is important to understand that the French colonized the territory first, and then the English came, fought, gained the land. And anyway, there's been a presence of like French descent for a very long time, and the language is still very much spoken in the country, across the country of Canada, really, but predominantly in Quebec. There is a lot of like folk country music that's very like typically Quebecois. There's a very Quebecois sound to music sometimes if you're not doing like mainstream pop, and it often involves an accordion. I don't know. There's one specific example that came up to mind. One song that I personally am not a big fan of that song, but it's like deep in the Quebec lore. Like modern day music, I would say. I'm trying to remember what the band is named. Cowboy Fringant. That's what it is. I mean, there's a lot of harmonica as well in French music, like traditional. I think that is. Anyway, you probably get the feeling and like a sense of what I'm trying to get at. So it's kind of a little bit of a brain mess up in my head right now, because it kind of draws from like that traditional folk type of music from Quebec, but it's like modern day pop that's French inspired. I'm just having a whiplash right now. Don't mind me, just having whiplash.
It's torture. I don't wanna come back, but I know I'm gonna. You make it so hard to leave. Jesus. You're too much.
That would be an amazing TikTok sound. Just, Jesus, you whore too much. I mean, that is a nice way to finish the album. I gotta say, out of all the tracks, I think that it was the best choice to finish it off. Although I might have, had it been in the album, Future Starts Now, I think should have been the closing song, because it would have been cool to have this like kind of love story go down, and then at the end, you know what, I'm moving on, the future starts now, it's a new beginning for me, and that kind of opens up the door to the next era. But it's also kind of cool because when I look at the track listing, there is that kind of like, I want you, I'm having fun, then oh crap, I'm having feelings and I'm getting attached and I want you all the time. And it ends up on this ambiguous like, I'm not sure if I want to stay or if I want to leave, which usually when you're 50-50, you're better off leaving, to be honest, because you're already halfway out. Unless by some miracle you get back in it and you're fully happy and committed, which may happen. But most times, if you're already halfway out, that's bad news. So all this to say that that was an interesting closing to the album. This was my reaction to the Problématique album by Kim Petras. I got a few keywords for you here: fashion, expensive brands, Paris, France, and you know, sex positive mindset. I think these are the four. You know what? I sound like the, what is it? Oh yeah, the opening of Powerpuff Girls when like you're making the ingredients of a recipe and then poof, came the album, Problématique, which I like it. I like the title of it. Problématique is kind of like this idea of pushing the edge, pushing the envelope, and I think that that's what the album did in its themes, and sonic wise it was cohesive. Damn, it would have been an amazing debut album for Kim. It's really sad that it didn't happen this way, but we were blessed with a gift this week, so I'm very thankful for that. This is the ranking of the songs that I preferred the most and the ones that I preferred the least. I'm curious as to how my ranking is gonna go, because I have no idea. Like, they're also similar in a certain way, but they're also like yeah, they're mostly similar in themes and in sound, but they all have their little thing that makes them different. And so I'm very curious how I'm gonna pull it off. Editing, Zach, good luck, and if you did it, congratulations. If you like this reaction, don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, let me know what your favorite tracks of the album were. Are you happy that this album was released? Do you think it was really intentional, or do you think it was more of a gift for the fans? I'm curious to hear you out in the comments down below, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye.